We are going to begin the program this year with an update on what MCW has been doing from our fearless leader of MCW, Eddie Bergman. Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Bergman.
Thank you so much, Ali. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. It's so great to be back here for our 7th annual gala dinner. Let's hear it for 7 dinners. That's a lot of food. Tonight we honor and recognize individuals and organizations who inspire and motivate us in our work. And before we begin, would like to once again thank Ali for really his extraordinary support and also, most importantly, helping to keep us on time tonight. We thank you, Ali, and would like to introduce some of our dignitaries and special guests who are with us this evening and request that you please hold your applause until the end of the list. First, I would like to welcome Honorable Obi Esquazelli, Vice President of the Africa region at the World Bank, who we heard from earlier. Welcome, Obi. Members of the international diplomatic community, we welcome Tanzania's ambassador to the USA, Her Excellency Ambassador Majar. Welcome, Ambassador. We welcome His Excellency Dr. Bukhari Stevens, Sierra Leone's ambassador to the USA. Welcome, Ambassador. We welcome Ambassador Ombeni Sifui, Tanzania's ambassador to the United Nations. We welcome you, Ambassador, and last year's award recipient. We also welcome South Africa's ambassador to the United Nations, Ambassador Boso Sinkwe, who's with us. We welcome you, Ambassador. And we also welcome His Excellency Ambassador Raid Mansour, the permanent observer mission of Palestine to the United Nations. We welcome you, Ambassador. And we welcome Honorable George Manyamangena, the Consul General of South Africa. We welcome you, Consul General. Our 2011 honorees, we welcome Ishmael Bey, author of A Long Walk Gone, Memoirs of a Boy Soldier, and founder of the Ishmael Bey Foundation. We'll hear from Ishmael shortly. It's an honor to have you with us, Ishmael. Heyward Davenport, Northeast Regional Director at the United States Department of Commerce with the Minority Business Development Agency, who will also be receiving an award later this evening. We want to thank and recognize once again, our very good friend and award recipient, Mr. Kanda Bangaman, a musician from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and indeed a citizen of the world. And Dr. Anthony Volpe, the Vice President of Global Oral Care, representing the Colgate Palmolive Company. We welcome you. We recognize our past honorees who are with us this evening. We welcome Cal Ramsey. We thank you for being with us once again at our event. And of course, our past honoree, Donald Rubin, who's with us this evening also. We recognize honorary dinner chairs who are with us, who I haven't yet mentioned. We recognize Amir Dasal, as well as Bill and Elsie Thompson, who are with us tonight. And we are most pleased to have with us once again, and we'll hear from her very soon, our very good friend, Liz Claman of Fox Business Network. Liz, thank you. And of course, we're here at NYU, so we recognize our friends from the NYU community, Dr. Yao Nyarko, director of NYU's Africa House. And for us at MCW, very important, we recognize Anna Kondulis, who's now an assistant dean at SCPS and an MCW board member. Welcome to our corporate leaders, in particular, are we ready? Our friends at Team Shine. We thank you for bringing your hearts and your time and your expertise to tonight's gala, to MCW. And last but not least, we'd like to recognize the following leaders in the MCW community and ask them to stand for recognition. All of our friends from MCW, part of the MCW team's names are listed in the corner, which is our newsletter, which was just delivered today at 2 o'clock this afternoon. And it's on everyone's chairs. We welcome my co-founder in MCW, Robert Alsbrooks, and we also recognize our founding mentors who are with us, our board of directors, our advisors, our MC Tanzania country chair, our fellows, and our international operations team, and ask that everyone who I just mentioned please stand just to be recognized for a moment, or you can wave your hands. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're proud to celebrate this evening with a record number of participants, and we thank you for being with us tonight. Now that we've enjoyed the first part, the cocktail reception and the silent auction, the presentation of the Alumni Venture Fund and Appreciation Leadership Awards, and the musical performance by Kanda Bongo Man, who shared his 90s hit music, Munchana, in the second part of our program, we're going to present 3 more awards and enjoy another musical performance by Kanda Bongo Man at the conclusion of the program. Can we wait? All right. You want to just come up now and do it? We have to eat first, so we got to have a lot of energy. We promise we'll also leave time for dinner and some more socializing. Before we get through, we want to share an update on what's happened with MCW since we last met here in April 2010. Friends, we have spent the last 12 months aiming to expand the scope of some of our programs and to broaden and deepen the impact of our work. In other words, we want to make sure that our projects can stand on their own and have a measurable and positive impact of the communities we work in, beyond our direct and active involvement. By that I mean we are aiming to bring some of our projects to scale. Let me explain. In first part of our program, we shared how MCW has taken steps to expand our oral health care program beyond volunteer outreach. While the outreaches are critical, we understand that Tanzania cannot depend on short-term solutions alone to address the population's oral health care needs. So we now aim to achieve lasting and sustainable oral health improvements in Tanzania. Next, we aim to bring our community center program to scale. Since 2001, we have aimed to provide education, exchange, and entrepreneurship opportunities for communities in Africa by building community centers. I'm pleased to share that the MCW Community Center program has also had record growth this year by completing construction on 3 new community centers, one in Rwanda, one in Zambia, and one in Sierra Leone, the most in any MCW year's history. We're going to share a brief video on the community center program, but I'd like to ask that our community center program director, Nate Crosley, who's here, but more importantly, I'd like to ask that Nate's mom stand for recognition because she allows him to travel all over the world and he's what's kind of behind growing this initiative. So I'm not sure where Mrs. Crosley is, but right there. So we want to thank you for lending us Nate, who's doing a fabulous job, who's based in Zambia. So we can showcase the video. Now, onto our leadership training program. Steve Kess shared with us how the MCW Alumni Ventures Fund creates opportunities for youth to develop entrepreneurial projects after graduating from the MCW Youth Leadership Retreats to help our alums continue to build on their vision plans. In the words of MCW board member Roberta Richin, vision plans aim to identify a specific challenge or opportunity in a community and the steps to take to address that challenge or opportunity. Vision plans are ways for youth to achieve their personal goals and to continue to their communities, to contribute to their communities at the same time. Each participant in our youth retreat program leaves with a vision plan. And now please enjoy a short video which highlights the 13th annual MCW Youth Leadership Retreat this summer. An event that we do every year with MCW. This is our 13th retreat, and we have about 400 alumni, several who are here with us today. And it couldn't be a better year to celebrate the theme of MCW, which is delivering on a promise, than at this year's Youth Leadership Retreat, where the participants who are here have come to the retreat being more prepared than ever before, and they're leaving being more inspired and more ready to go out there and make a difference in their communities.
This year, I have to say that we had absolutely the most amazing participants ever, mentors, staff. Everyone was so committed to working together. I've never seen anything like it.
At home and in my professional life, everything takes longer, costs more, and produces somewhat less than I thought. And then I get to spend a week at MCW, where everything is grander than you can ever imagine, happens with much less effort in the moment than you could imagine, and is the most satisfying experience that I think I've ever had with young people.
This year, our Partner Initiative program has continued to grow, where we work with a variety of partners to develop projects that make a difference. Our current project, Partner Initiative program includes MCW Jacqueline's Human Rights Corner. Here, Jacqueline Maracatete, who's with us and will be speaking later in the program, and the MCW team have continued to educate on the critical and important needs to prevent the crime of genocide and positively address challenges facing survivors. This Sunday, at Cardozo Law School, MCW, in partnership with New York, New Jersey Rwandan community, is organizing a special commemorative event to honor the lives of those lost in the 1994 genocide against Tutsis in Rwanda. We're also organizing the first MCW Journey to Africa for friends and supporters to Rwanda, and if you'd like to join at any of these events, you can see an MCW representative or visit us on our website through all the different Facebook, fan page, YouTube, Flickr. You can just call me if you want. So, friends, the only reason why we stand here tonight and can do the work we do is because of individuals who have partnered with us to raise support. And raising support is never easy, no matter in what economic climate. We are pleased to share that our 2011 dinner chairs have helped us exceed our financial goal by reaching out to their networks and colleagues, families, and friends. And in the MCW tradition, we'd like to give special recognition to this year's dinner chairs. And I'd like to ask the dinner chairs please stand, and our volunteers will deliver some special awards to you. We recognize and thank Peggy and Avinash Ahuja, Ronica and Ruben Cohen, Keith and Tracy Dreher, Ann Eiting Claymar, Michael and Joyce Edinger, Bunny Grossinger, James and Wendy Harding, Stephen Sharon-Kess, Mark and Audrey Malotek, Stephen and Dolores Palladino, Eric and Linda Perlmutter, Anthony and Jane Providente, Howard Stapler and Susan Bacci, and Tim and Kay Sullivan. We thank you so much, and please stand. Stand. And we also special thank you to Paul Rose, Lou Mercado, Michelle Nian, and Alan Cohen for their extraordinary support with making this happen. At this time, today is a very special day because we have two very special birthdays in the room, and if you put them together, they equal 100. So we'd like to wish a most very happy birthday to Michael Edinger and Susan Vasallo for a most... And we have some gifts for you. We also understand that it's also Andreas Meldau's birthday too. So we have 3 birthdays in the room today. And if your birthday is today, and I didn't mention your name, just raise your hand. But indeed, we have Ogo. Whose birthday? Oh, it's Senegal Independence Day today. So thank you, Ogo. Happy birthday. So we can't turn to the program without a few more thank yous. A big thank you in particular to Howie Stapler, Alan Cohen, Steve Kess, Allison Neely, Susan Vasallo, Dewi, Loretta Bloom, Deborah Horowitz for their extraordinary support from Team Shine. We also thank the Henry Shine creative team, in particular Bob Posner, Andrea Janser, Brian King, Joe Savino, Avi Freiman, and Diane Tanko for their extraordinary support, in particular with the videos, with all of the creative stuff that we see tonight. They've been extremely helpful with putting this together. And we, in particular, once again, thank Anna from NYU, Bunny Grossinger for designing today's centerpieces, which every year are so unique, and we thank Bunny for your passion. Thank Robin Deutsch for putting the silent auction together, and our international operating team, Nate Crosley, Khalid Alachi, Angela Geru, Sharon Rowling, and Yasmin Alachi. Our incredible team of volunteers, my parents, Stanley and Marion Bergman. And Sharon, my wife. And I've learned very quickly that I have to always recognize my mother-in-law, Seema. So, on that note, and of course, Javid, but I have to recognize Seema. So, on that note, I'd like to invite a very, very good friend of MCW to present our next award. I'd like to invite Liz Claman, who's an outstanding longtime friend of MCW and anchor at Fox Business Network, to join us at the podium to share some remarks and present our next award. Thank you, and welcome, Liz.
How funny is Eddie? He's hilarious. That's not easy to do. All right. First of all, welcome to all of you. It is so nice to see a room filled with people who really, truly have made a difference and who want to make a difference for Miracle Corners of the World. I was just perusing through some of the paperwork that each of you got on your chairs. And you know, I'm a financial journalist, not as famous or good as Ali Velshi. I'm getting there. I'm working on it. You're my hero, Ali. And I was noticing that among the thank yous, aside from, of course, the beacon, the shining light of Miracle Corners, Henry Shine, there were some great companies that Ali and I cover, and I just think it's so interesting to see, you know, the Wells Fargos of the world, Colgate-Palmolive, KPMG, EMC, Dell, Deloitte, UPS, and the NASDAQ. I mean, they don't have to do this, okay? And they do. So I just want to tip my hat to those companies and many others that are listed, and I really want you to see which companies are generous, because there are a lot out there that don't do this kind of thing, so a salute to them. It was about 6 years ago, after I had just finished grilling Stan Bergman over yet another record earnings report at Henry Shine. I mean, Stan, you never give me bad news to rip you on. You know us evil journalists, we're always looking for the negative. And Stan said, you know, Liz, with that accent, he said, I really would very much like for you to see what Rob and Eddie are doing, and it's called Miracle Corners of the World. And I did not have to look but just about 3 sentences in before I realized what an extraordinary organization Miracle Corners of the World not only was at that point in its sort of incipient stages, but what it actually could become. I just knew that it was very important to look into this. And I have to say that in a world where philanthropic money and frankly the energy out there that is involved in philanthropy seems to either be waning or drying up, that has never been the issue with Miracle Corners of the World. Every year, Miracles of Corner of the World presents a Lifetime Achievement Award, and this year I am so honored to have been the one to be chosen to be up here to present that. This year, we are honoring a man whose core vision and consciousness, both professionally and personally, so beautifully dovetails with that of Miracle Corners of the World. I mean, you guys couldn't have picked a more perfect person to honor today. Heyward Davenport is the regional director of the U.S. Department of Commerce, and he is a man who is unbelievably dedicated to that small but growing opportunity and group of people when it comes to minority businesses and entrepreneurs who are really trying to make a difference and flourish and grow in this world, which is not an easy thing to do in the best of times, but during a financial crisis and the aftermath of it is a pretty neat trick. As the front man in the Northeast, when it comes to, well, that would be, the Department of Commerce's regional organization here when it comes to minority businesses, we all know that the Northeast is where it's at. I mean, and I'm a Californian, so if I'm saying that, it's all about New York, baby. And he is the one who has really been the forefront in establishing himself as a hero in a heroic way to minority businesses that are trying to grow. Heyward grew up on a farm in South Carolina, and he has grown from that to become one of the most educated and incredible men in the U.S. government today. He got his degrees from not one, not two, see, I'm going to give you all complexes now, not three, but 4 incredible universities, including Columbia and NYU. I know. See, we must revere that. Somebody who is just passionate about education. Every step of the way, he has worked hard for and never forgotten that his mission to fight for the rights and success of small minority entrepreneurs who are the very fabric of this nation's business heart and soul is a most important one. He's given of himself to this nation. He served in the U.S. Air Force. He was a civil rights leader in the early 60s, and he has won countless awards, including the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation Living Legacy Award, and he was inducted into the Minority Business Hall of Fame in 2008. We've used the word minority and minor a lot when talking about Heyward, but I think tonight Miracle Corners of the World would like to use a different word, and that is major. Heyward Davenport is a major force, and we can all learn from somebody who is so dedicated to a wonderful, wonderful passion and cause, but also, as we award him tonight, for this most amazing Lifetime Achievement Award from Miracle Corners of the World, Heyward Davenport.
For me, this award is especially notable today, which is the anniversary of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King, whom I had the great opportunity to work with many decades ago, it seems now. This award marks a long journey that seems to have started just a few short years ago, when as a non-commissioned officer in the United States Air Force, I found myself in charge of a group of mostly white men. Growing up in a system of rigid segregation in the South, somewhat akin to apartheid in South Africa, that was my first experience in a setting in which only merit counted. You had to earn your stripes. I received the Airman's Achievement Award for outstanding achievement, and that experience made me realize the possibilities of a society that was free of injustice, in which only merit mattered. After leaving the military and reading newspaper accounts of what Martin Luther King was doing in Alabama, in Montgomery, I knew that I had to be a part of that effort. So 1 week after the first sit-ins were conducted in Greensboro, North Carolina, you may recall, I joined a couple of classmates at Johnson C. Smith University in Charlotte, North Carolina, and organized several hundred students who marched on downtown Charlotte and sat in at every lunch counter that was available. Of course, it made UPI, and the world was now watching. Many months later, and meetings with Dr. King, Thurgood Marshall, A. Philip Randolph,